Right, okay, cool. Right, hello. My name is Rekuyx. I run Riverbond, and I guess we're just going to get straight into this. So, let's go. Let's do this. Right, so, Riverbond was a game that was made really recently, actually. It was released this year. I actually saw the trailer for it at E3, and I was like, yo, this game looks like a really cool speedrun game, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to learn it. No? Oh, you want me to do a 3, 2, 1? You didn't say this! Reset, okay.
And that's it, gonna...
I got bad door RNG anyway, it's fine. No, that's not a thing. Right, okay. I'm guessing I can go now. So, right. 3, 2, 1, go. I hope they don't come back at me again. Right, starting again, this game came out. But no, anyway, so I am currently one of the only people that run this game, which is unfortunate, because this game is absolutely fantastic. I think loads of people should run this. But hey, it's whatever really, it's fine. But basically the general term of this, it's fine. I've got them. The turkeys are cool, dude, don't worry. I'm not hurting them. I promise. The general gist of this game is that there are several different areas in each and every dungeon. And then at the end of each dungeon there's a boss fight. So it's basically like, just go to this area, do a quick quest, and then proceed to the next area. We do have a special attack. Oh, okay. This is actually so far a really good turkey fight. I say that as I mess it up. Okay, so these turkeys are a little bit annoying to deal with because if you get hit off doing any of the objectives, it can cause you basically to like reset all the progress. So you kind of have to deal with the enemies. But in terms of quests, there's like loads of different things. There's like, obviously collect eggs, destroy all the enemies, get rid of Crab's Nest, you know, it's all things themed around the stage pretty much. So this first stage is like an introduction, or the first dungeon is like an introduction. I also can't seem to get that for the life of me, but that's fine. But there's also another thing I should mention is that there's loads of chests around the all of the stages. These contain different weapons that actually do different damage. So when you start a dungeon, you'll actually have the same loadout, which is a sword and a little like machine gun thing. But later on in the run, you can get different weapons, such as upvotes, which we will be using in the third dungeon actually, which is probably one of my favorites. But all we have to do really here is just... Oh wait, hold on. Am I gonna get this? Okay, so that's a weird little physics thing. So apparently if you go up waterfalls, you know, physics, you can just get yourself launched into the air, which is fun. But if you actually, like, spam A to go up the waterfall, or you do any type of movement, you actually won't do that. So maybe kind of a little bit of a glitch, but it's not too helpful in any terms, so... Okay, so this guy, these big enemies are quite annoying. At the moment, we're kind of using a spear because it's doing 35 damage, and then we can also like rapid fire it, so it's the fastest thing to be dealing with the enemies with. There's 2 enemies there that we're going to leave because we're actually going to be going out that way, so we want to conserve time by just dealing with them on the way out. There's also another big enemy here. Well, yeah, that's another thing. Most enemies in this game do actually like to kind of just get on top of objects, and I'll explain a little bit more about getting on top of objects later on the run, where we can actually surprisingly cheese some bosses with it. So we just picked up some dual-wielding planks with nails in them. These deal 30 damage each, so the damage per second is actually really fast. But we won't be using it for the actual boss, unfortunately, because as far as I know, the gun is still the fastest thing. Seems as we really need to get up in the boss's face in order to deal damage, but we also need to stay our distance. So having melee weapons in a boss fight, not such the best idea, because we don't want to die too frequently, but dying in this game doesn't really affect too much. We actually, none of the progress gets reset, and you just get sent back to the latest checkpoint or the start of the stage if you didn't hit a checkpoint. So this is the final little mini area of the first dungeon. So all we have to do here is just save the bunnies in the cages. It's an adorable game to play through, even if it's just like casual playthrough. The art style of this game is absolutely fantastic. It's probably one of the things that drew me into the game originally. I also went the wrong way, but that's fine. Improvisation, don't worry about it. Right. So there's loads of lily pads that we can actually just jump on to get onto the platforms a little bit faster instead of going the way that's probably intended, which is the walkways. But you know, there's too many enemies there. We can't deal with them. But the biggest time save I'd turn to say that would be in this game is trying to do the objectives without fighting as many enemies. And as you've seen, I've been fighting a load of enemies, but this is basically like necessary for me to fight the enemies. If I don't fight them or defeat them, they're basically just going to kind of not, I was about to say damage my progress, and I was like, no, that's not the correct word. It's basically just put my progress on completing the objective at a halt. Right, so with that, I'm also going to... So I've just entered the barrel roll into the door, which should get me in first frame. There you go. So you can kind of do that if you can get to the door fast enough. So this is Captain Barbecus. This is one of the first bosses, 1 out of 8 bosses within the game. Yeah, the bosses in this game are unique. That's all I really have to say. They get a little bit weirder down the line. But it's a giant fish. Apparently he's good at barbecues too, so maybe we can try some of his food or something? I don't know. But regardless, so again, me dying, not a big issue, especially when I just get reset. It does waste a little bit of time, but I am playing this on the Xbox One X, so the load times are actually really, really fast. Load times for this game are actually really fast anyway, regardless, but it's just better to have like the extra load time power. I don't actually know what it's called. It makes me seem like a really bad person when it comes to tech, which I am actually, so SSD, I suppose. Yeah, let's just go with SSD. But yeah, so another thing that I should also mention is that the bosses also have down states. Also, what I'm going to do that really quick. So many things to explain. So basically what I did there is if you let the cutscene play out, or like the thing play out, it basically just turns around and says, hey, you defeated it. Here's like a really cool cutscene. So if you pause it and unpause, it actually skips that. But then you have to pause again in order for it to say quest complete, and then you can just hit exit. If you don't hit exit, it will just go to like the ending screen where it tells you your total score, and you're kind of just stuck there for about 20 seconds. You can't really get out of it. So the general rules is that you don't actually have to sit through that. As long as it comes up with quest complete and you defeated the boss, you can just basically just go to the next one. So this is the second dungeon. This is Wailing Mines. Loads of little pig dudes everywhere with, I don't know if that's marshmallow sticks or clubs. Would you say it's marshmallow sticks or clubs?
No, for marshmallow sticks we need a fire pit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, we're going to go with marshmallow sticks, but we're going to have to find them a fire pit. So that first one was just to clear the fountains. This one is an interesting one. I think there's two types of missions where it's actually destroy enemy stuff. I could be wrong. That makes me sound professional because I've been playing this game for like a while. But this is the distinctive two that I remember is this one and also another one in Dungeon 8, which is towards the end of the game. But basically we just have to defeat the enemy fortress, just destroy all the wood and stuff, and just make our way up to the exit, which is just up this ladder, and also, yeah, just up here. So this should be enough, hopefully. 94, 96... Come on, just a little bit more. There we go. So you just need to do 100 of them and then exit open, so it's all good. Right. Let's go in here. So, next one is to find the silver key. So we're going to have to find the silver key, which is just in this pretty little windmill here. We also got to challenge the boss for it. So, now there is a strat that I've sort of developed around death warping in this game, but it's a little bit tricky to pull off because, again, there are so many enemies. We're going to grab some monster claws from this chest to deal basically double damage. Okay, so I died there unintentionally, but because there is so many enemies there, it is really hard to, like, kind of... I keep running out of words to say! But, like, it's hard to grasp how many enemies you need to have left and how low your health should be. So, I'm not too sure if you can see the Bigger's health, but it's like halfway down, and so's mine. I really don't want to be dying again, but I also have to be dealing with his, like, minions. Again, something I should have mentioned at the start is that you do actually get health potions in this, that do help quite a bit, and you just want to... Okay, well, apparently I thought that was the final boss, so that's a bit of time waste. That's fine, though. Right. That is the first time I have ever done that. That's amazing. So there are other enemies in the game that do that cutscene. The time loss isn't too bad. It's going to be about like 1 to 2 minutes. It's not that bad because I was about halfway through the dungeon. But that is honestly a first. There's a first time for everything, really, isn't there? First time for everything. So that's, wow. I'm shocked with myself. But yeah, so there's other enemies, other big boss enemies that do that as well. And my brain was like, hey, dude, you should pause and quit there. And I just followed along with it. So that's it, dungeon done, speedrun complete. No, I wish. That would have been such a good time save on that. My PB for this dungeon is like 5 minutes something, I think. It's really, really quick. The dungeons themselves, the first beginning ones can be done within like 10 to 5 minutes. The Dungeon 6, Dungeon 7, and Dungeon 8 are probably the longest ones. Dungeon 7 can be done within like 9 minutes. I think my PB for that is 9 minutes and 41 seconds. 51 seconds, something like that. And then Dungeon 6 is along the lines of 11 minutes on a decent run. If you get a really good run, you could probably sub 10 it. I actually did do that in practice, so I hope I can do that again. Dungeon 6 is also not one of my favorites. It's really, really difficult in compared to like the game's difficulty setting, which you'd think would be surprising because Dungeon 8 would be the difficultest, but it's really not, which is the weird thing. Right, so we're back on getting the silver key, and this time I'll actually get the silver key and not like quit out of the game like an idiot. Right. So we're going to grab the monster claws. The monster claws do come in for something later on with the boss. There is a reason why I am actually picking them up. It's because I'm dealing basically 40 damage per second, possibly even 80 damage per second. And I'm not going to die. Thank you. There we go. So we can cheese. This is the first boss that we're actually going to be able to cheese if I get it correctly, and I'll explain a little bit of how this works when we actually get there. So it's this area and then the next one. And then we've got the boss fight. Right. Gonna like use that. There we go. Silver key acquired. Let's go. You know what? I think I could have pulled off exiting the game with some sort of like thing like, oh, this sets up a glitch for something and made myself not look like an idiot, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll roll with it. RNG manipulate. Yep, done. Actually, the surprising thing is that I don't think this game actually has that much RNG. I don't even think the enemies really count as RNG, to be honest.
So this game is basically more down to how well you use your movement.
Basically, yeah.
Timing execution of your
yeah. Which is also really nice. Get up there. Yeah, I kind of favor games that don't require that much RNG, because sometimes the RNG in like games like Luigi's Mansion is one that uses RNG. What's another really good one? I'm struggling because I don't focus on RNG games.
Binding of Isaac?
Binding of Isaac, that's another. I mean, if people speedrun that, damn.
Yeah,
they do?
They do.
God damn, okay, well, RNG can really screw you over on that, can't it? Because there's just so many things. I actually need to get back into Binding of Isaac, actually. Anyway, so these little spider enemies are probably the most annoying thing we're going to encounter in this dungeon. The reason being is because they just charge at you constantly, so we want to go... Gonna like grab the potion really quick before I die. Now, it may look like I'm just taking damage because I don't care. That is also a factor, but you can actually do this really weird thing where you can roll through the enemy bullets. I don't know how it works, it just kind of does, so I'm gonna use it. So there we go. Rolling through enemy bullets. Right, so this is Rabbitus Maximus. Great boss name. What we're going to do is we're just going to trigger him, and then we're just going to jump on here, turn around, get a little bit closer. I think, is he following us? Yeah, okay, he's following us. So, what he'll actually do, or, well, you might already be questioning, it's like, oh, okay, nope, that didn't work. Right. So, a thing that you can do in this game is that you can get on top of boxes, and sometimes the boss doesn't realize what you're actually done. So the game basically tracks you being on the floor. Okay, this is going horribly wrong already. I don't know how many more I can do of these. I've only tested like the first few. Right. Maybe, okay, so he's, as you can see, right, I think I've got him. It's not ideal, it's kind of back up, but it's fine. So basically, he's kind of stuck on something, and as long as these guys don't register me... Okay, they haven't registered me. So basically, my character ID for enemies to kind of go aggro at me is on the same level as the... That's not how physics works, my dude! What are you doing? Don't climb any further, please. He's just floating. Oh no! I might have to execute him. So this is kind of how the boss fight kind of goes, but also kind of not how it goes. You just kind of sit here and just deal damage to the boss. It's the fastest thing instead of like going around on the floor, dealing damage to the enemies, having to dodge stuff. I'm also horrible at aiming, apparently. It's the fastest possible thing to do. And you can actually do this with 4 bosses in the game really easily. You can do it with a few more, but it's actually a little bit more technical and a little bit more harder to do. So we kind of just do those boss fights normally because they're kind of fast anyway, so... Normally this is like a sub, like 4 or 3 boss fight here with the time bonus, but... Again, it's not a guaranteed thing to work. Sometimes it doesn't work, like you saw twice. But that's generally sometimes because of the enemies as well. Okay, so that's the second dungeon down. Let's move on to the third one. So, the third dungeon's boss is probably the most annoying. But the level design for the third dungeon is gotta be one of my favorites. I have so many favorite dungeons in this, it's ridiculous. I think at this point I might as well turn around and say, you know what, all of them are my favorite except from Dungeon 6. So basically, like, what, 7/8 of the game? Wait, hold up. I'm skipping ahead of myself. Right. So there we go. I forgot about that second tower. So all we have to do there is just hit the button to lower the drawbridge to get across. I hit the first one, thought I hit the second one as well. But I need to, like, kind of focus a little bit more. But it's fine. So, right, let's go. Do you want to get rich? Should we get rich? I think we're just going to steal all the frogs' money. Let's do this. Defeat them in the meantime, but like also take all their money. So again, as long as they're not turkeys, right? As long as they're not turkeys. Right, I'm going to try and do something here. Right, so all the frogs are going to be after me here, but I also kind of don't want them to be in order to take the gold. Please don't hit me. Yes, okay. So, I got that just in time before all of the other ones came to me, and if that was the case, then I would have... Sir, thank you. Just hit me back into the swamp. It's not like I'm trying to get to my next destination or anything. No, take your time. I would have had to deal with all those enemies, and again, dealing with more enemies than you need to is time lost in this game, so... Best thing to do, avoid as many enemies as possible, whilst also trying to not get hit by enemies. So it's a little bit technical in regards to how the movement and the gameplay goes, but the basic premise of the game is really simple to understand. And learning the game itself is also really easy. I think I picked up this game within like the first day of me deciding to speedrun this, so it's really easy to learn. So, decryption. We've got to decrypt some mystic notes. I'm just going to boot you into oblivion. Normally what I can do there is I can actually punch him all the way down so he doesn't climb back up, but it's fine. Now, these papers actually have a hitbox, and I can hide behind them when... you saw an enemy there with a gun, actually. He likes to shoot at me quite a bit, and I'm just going to stand behind one of the pieces of paper, and all of the damage and all of the bullets are just going to go into the decrypting paper, and I won't get any of it. So I can continue with the progression of the quest without having to deal with more enemies than necessary, which is quite a nice feature. Right, here's the first example of it. You have to get your positioning right, but there we go. So he'll just fire at me, and then it's just going to hit the thing, so I can just continue with it. Right. So there's 2 more up here, and there's also 1 more. Oh, yeah, actually, this works. Developing strats on the move. I'm just going to hit frogs off the cliff. So again, yeah, exactly. Again, it's like I've been running this for a little while, but I am still developing strats. Seems as I'm currently one of the only people that do run this. So if you are liking the game and you do have an interest in probably learning an easy speed game, I'd highly suggest this. It's available on PS4, Xbox One, and also PC, and it is also coming to Nintendo Switch later this year with a new dungeon as well. So I'm very excited for the new dungeon, and also hopefully we'll get some more players in regards to Nintendo Switch release. And there we go. Cool. Right, hopefully... Wait. Okay, we're safe. It's cool. Swag strats. It's cool. Right, so... I have a question. Who likes Reddit? Do you like Reddit? Are you a Reddit fan much? I'm not too much of a Reddit fan, but I do tell you, upvotes are pretty powerful. Upvotes are powerful.
I'm not really a fan of reading, period.
I mean, same here.
Just reading.
So, there's a little chest in here, and it contains upvotes. The devs like to put in some guns and some weapons that are references to quite a few things. We actually pick up the upvotes because they're actually really, really good. Right, there's the upvotes, and here's also the key for the silver key. I'm going to death abuse here to get me back to the start so I don't have to climb the wall, and I can just go out the exit like that. There's a few times we actually do that throughout the run. Right. So this is another area that we're going to cheese, and I really hope I don't quit the game again. So as you can see, these upvotes do a total damage of 35 per hit. So we're doing about 70 to 140 damage per second, roughly about that, if you get some good hits. So what I'm just going to do here is I'm just going to get up onto this table and start shooting this guy. As you can see, game is coded fantastically well, and enemies just stop in their tracks. So, yeah. You guys... Oh, we have a donation! Awesome! I cannot anymore! But, Turkey, if you want to come in close and...
We've got a donation from Nos, £10, and first donation of American, so best of luck to all the runners this weekend. Let's see some awesome speed runs, and good luck on the run, Riku.
Hey, thank you, Nos. Hope you're having a good day. Can't wait to see you to get here, Mo. But yeah, that's a good point. When I'm cheesing like the other bosses, I can read out all the donations. I didn't know what I was actually going to do for those periods. Right, so this is the third boss of the game, and is the most annoying one out of the lot. I absolutely really don't like him. It's not so much the boss itself, it's more of the enemies around him that make this boss really annoying. There's also no way to cheese it as well, which is unfortunate. Just whack me with the door. Just whack me with the door. Oh no. But yeah, it's like his attack speeds are actually relatively quite quick, which I think is also another thing that makes this boss really difficult. So I turn around and say, if you're coming to the game and you're having difficulties with this boss, don't worry about it, because this is generally a difficult boss to deal with. Right. So again, explaining the down states, I don't think I actually explained them fully properly. If I did, I'm going to explain it again just in case. So when the boss goes into a down state, it actually takes basically double the damage. These points are where you want to get the most damage in per hit. These phases are really crucial for getting the enemy's health down without happening. So that's the signal of the down phase, because all of the enemies spawn back in, and he also kind of just goes on his back. And you can also see the damage numbers from my gun go from 15 to 22. And it also deals quite a bit of damage apparently, so that's really good. Again, if I was hitting him with upvotes, this applies for every weapon in the game. If I hit him with the upvotes, the 35 goes to like 70 or 80 per hit. I don't think I'll get it again, because it only happens 3 times during a boss fight. So, oh, again. As you can see, I'm dying quite a bit to this boss, but again, it doesn't really matter because none of the boss's health respawns, so it's actually quite beneficial. Right. Come on, last little bit of health. Come on. Hit him with the upvote. There we go. Nice. Right. 4th dungeon now. So we're coming up to halfway through the game. And what better way to save some puppies? You know what? Let's save the animals. Let's do it. I'm going to save the animals. We also... Well, not these animals, though. No.
There's no incentive for it, so you're good.
There's no incentive for saving the animals, but I'm doing it anyway because it's a quest. It's a quest requirement. I have to. Wait, actually, no. Technically, I'm saving and killing the animals. I'm saving the good animals and killing the bad animals. This works. This works. Right. So, this dungeon, again, I'm gonna say it a lot, one of the most aesthetically pleasing dungeons out of the lot. Frost levels are one of my favorite. I love frost levels so much. They're amazing, and especially in this game, the design of it is incredible. This dungeon is also extremely short. I think my time for this is basically almost sub 4 minutes IGT. That's also another thing I should probably bring up. So, whilst running this game... Oh, there we go. Whilst running this game, there's two different types of timing methods we use. If you're doing a singular dungeon run, so not this category. This category is all dungeons, so we go through every single one in succession. If you're doing just a single dungeon, you actually use the built-in in-game timer at the end of the run, which we don't get to see because we're doing all dungeons, so we have to quit out of the menu before we waste like basically 30 seconds. And then for an all dungeons any % run, we actually do it RTA instead of IGT because we can't see the IGT. There is probably a way well, there is a way to gain or to time in-game time, but at the moment seems as there's not too many people worried about it. I wouldn't turn around and say it's required for an all dungeons any % run. Right, so this is another way to cheese a boss, is just get on top of... As you can see, like, getting on top of, you know, walls and just being one up from the enemy really causes the game to affect in different ways. So, another thing that I should also mention about this game is that it is 4-player local co-op. So if you, as far as I know and that I've decrypted from the game, if you're on 4-player difficulty or like 4 players in the game, the health of the enemies do not scale. So technically, if you've got 4 players and you're all focusing on a boss, you could probably do a boss in like 20 seconds. So we split up the categories for this reason. So in solo, obviously, it's going to take the longest because I'm doing this by myself. There's no one really helping me, so I have to do all the damage myself. I haven't tested so much with co-op action to really see how fast this can go. That's a little bit unfortunate. I wasn't really paying attention to my health. It was also the last little bit of health, which would have been actually kind of a time save if he did that. Normally what we do is we kill the boss and then we just fly off the edge here. But... Right, so we're just going here. So all we need to do is just get a key, and we're just going to dodge all the cells, dodge all the magician of magic powers, try and get through a barricade, apparently. And then, again, do some death warping. We don't see a lot of death warping until about World 7. One of the stages in World 7 has a lot of death warping in it. But generally, that's because of how the stage was basically designed. Right, so we're coming up to the final quest area before the boss. And what this boss. You'll all see in just a sec. So this one we just have to defeat the enemies in here. The turrets are probably the most annoying thing, because if you get hit by a turret, you just basically get into a chain of attack, which is like really annoying to get out of, and they also do quite a bit of damage to you, so it can bring your health down and basically almost kill you. But it seems as like we're at the start, it's not too much of a big deal. I'm also going to use my special attack as well. Oh yeah, another thing I should mention is that we do actually have a special attack, so if you press RB, you do this like slam attack that can actually knock enemies out. It is helpful for some points when you need to like do an objective and there's too many enemies around and you don't really want to deal with them. Okay, I'm just going to do that and then just deal with these with the sword. I don't want to have to go into the boss fight and having to reload. Death again! Wow, okay. Right. Oh, another weird physics thing about the upper surface, you actually don't get enough height to go up the stairs. Really weird, but it works. Well, doesn't work, I should turn around and say. So this is Pumper on Pengo. I'm just going to call him Pingu, and he's a boxing penguin. If this game isn't appealing to you yet, I don't know what is. Like, who wouldn't want to play with a game with a boxing penguin in it? such a... there is a way to also cheese the boss. As you can see, there is like levitated platforms. I wonder if we can do it. Oh. Maybe. The thing that is the issue here is that the enemies with the... No, okay. So sometimes you can actually do it. We did get quite a bit of damage in whilst doing it, so kind of a win-win there. But it's not the best. I have done it once, but this is one of the ones that it takes a little bit of more of a setup in order to basically just sit there and deal damage. The enemies that are shooting, if you anger them, they're going to shoot the boxes down, so they're going to deal damage to it, which is the thing that's going to mess you up. And 4th dungeon down. Right. That's the back... okay, wait, okay. Well, that's weird. Right, so this is the 5th dungeon, halfway through the run now. Probably my least favorite one because it's a desert-themed dungeon. I'm not a big fan of desert-themed worlds. For instance, Super Mario Bros. 2 on the DS. That's a memory right there. I was gonna death warp, but you know what? That also works. It takes a while to actually fall out of bounds, so killing me instantly there, yeah, that works. So it's not one of the most annoying dungeons, but the quests in this dungeon are not my favorite. There's 2 quests where we have to plant seeds, and then there's another one which is killing enemies, which isn't too bad, because we actually gain some double daggers, which are really, really powerful. They might be. We're not playing Zelda, I swear. We're not playing Zelda, I swear. No, basically...
There's a link between them.
I can't round of applause that. That was cheesy, but you know what? That was actually kind of good.
No, it worked.
Okay, well, my sense of humor is really bad then. No, basically, if you're not speedrunning this game and you're actually going for just playing this game casually, there is a scoring system. So you get coins, and then you get big coins that score 1,000 points. You get diamonds that score about 500, and then you also get emeralds which score 100. So you can basically go for a score attack, basically. Also, going to grab this chest to grab dual knives. Don't come down here, don't come... Nope. Wait. Nailed it. I didn't have to defeat any of them. That's great. So normally I have to actually defeat those enemies, but because I dodged their attack and then was able to continue with the objective straight away, I was able to get that done before I had to defeat any of them or deal with any of them. Going up that is sometimes annoying because, as you can see, these enemies are like lunging at us, and that can just basically, in practice yesterday, I got hit back down the ladder like 3 times in a row. So, right, we're just going to quickly deal with these guys, and then right into the water. As you can see, these dual blades are doing 55 damage per hit, which is absolutely insane. And hopefully we're going to get a good boss fight. I have a feeling, but this is marathon, so marathon luck. Who knows? Maybe it will. It might do. Who knows? So again, with the dual blades, it makes going through this really, really fast. As far as I know, I've searched basically every chest. Like, I've gone through each and every dungeon and top to bottom tried to find every single chest with every single weapon in it, and I've tested loads of things out, and the weapons that I use, I would turn around and say, are the most effective in the route as well, because you have to route to get to them. So if there's a weapon that's out of the way, there's no point in getting it, so you might as well just stick with the base weapons anyway, because it will either do less damage or the time to take to it is just not worth it. So it's like, to get to like maybe some other weapons, you have to go through basically whole new quest sections, so it just takes time out of the run. But I'd say the weapon selection we got is pretty good, so it's not bad. Right. Another thing I should also mention is that you don't have to pick up health vials when going into next areas, because your health will automatically just refill itself when you go into each and every section. So it's a really nice thing that I don't have to go out of my way to get more health potions if I know I can basically survive. Right, I'm going to try and like jump through the barrier. before I hit the floor. There we go. Okay, nice. Right, so this is Puffy the Lurker, the fish. Weird boss, weird boss. So we're just gonna kind of stand here and oh, okay, right. This is sort of a bad attack because we can't really stand right next to him. We also want to deal with these enemies. Right, as you can see there, 82 damage per hit. That's quite a chunk. Like I turned and said, each and every boss has... Oh, another... Look at this. Look at this boss fight. Okay. Each and every boss does have the 3 hit, like the 3 down states. But because we do so much damage in this boss, it doesn't matter. It's like we can get basically 2. Oh. And done. 5th dungeon down. Right. So, Lost Museum. This is my least favorite dungeon. I would turn and say this is probably the hardest dungeon for myself, personally. Every enemy in this is just out to kill me, disturb me, so I basically have to kill every single enemy I see. I try not to, but it comes down to basically killing everything, which is really, really slow. Again, it's like the best dungeon, the best Lost Museum I've had is... I think it was like a 9 minutes, it was like a sub 10 time, and I was like, well, damn, that's pretty fast. I'm gonna try and get behind here, and... Okay, cool. So this first section, not too bad. I'm also just gonna climb up here, and not have to deal with any of them. And then the last Shrines of Knowledge is just here. There we go, done. Woo! Right, so that first area, not too bad. The second area is where this is starting to get a little bit difficult. So, we have to read the Book of Memories. Oh, so spooky. Without dying, maybe. Please? Okay. All of the enemies in this section are really tedious to... As you can see there, I'm like really low on health already. Are really tedious to deal with. There are some stuff that we're going to try and do to hopefully speed this up a little bit. Again, we don't want to anger too many enemies, but... So there's one coming towards us now, but we're just going to hug the Book of Dreams. I'm going to say it like that constantly now, because, you know, why not? Intense sound effects. Right, I'm also just going to just do that, because apparently that de-aggroes everything, so... Just go behind the books and just basically try and get on top of that. Right, actually, I'm going to... Well, are you going to get stuck? Okay, please don't shoot. Okay, so these big enemies, again, are really annoying to deal with because obviously you have to keep running around, you have to dodge more enemies. If you can do this, it is basically the fastest way to deal with them. So it's really good I got that. I'm going to go for 2 for 2 here. Or not. I got stuck. Help. I can't see. Oh no. Okay. Plan B. Go to plan B. We'll just do it normally. The game's like, nah, denied. Right. Right, I'm not going to be able to do the Book of Dreams that quick. Actually, wait, if he gets stuck there, maybe. I have to kind of think on the fly here of what this AI is going to do, that's the thing. He seems to not be angry at me, so I think I might be able to get away with this. Yeah. Okay, even if he was angry at me, I would already have basically been able to do that. But the unfortunate thing is that we actually generally still need to take him out, because there's 2 more Books of Dreams basically right where he is. There's also another enemy on the right-hand side of the screen when you start. I think there's another 2 of these guys. Again, if you take the left route, you won't anger them, and basically they won't follow you around. Alright, deal with you lot. I'm not going to worry about you for a second. Right, please. Okay, that's unfortunate and unlucky. I probably should have taken the health potions there. Just to be safe. But it's fine. So we're just going to go here. We basically have to go off the screen to de-aggro enemies, basically. So that's why I just don't go straight ahead. So they're on the screen at the moment, but because of all the barriers, they're not going to pass through. This is where I might eat my own words. Nah, okay, I'm good. We're good. Whew. So again, this dungeon is honestly one of the most tedious dungeons, because it takes a while to do the objectives, and the enemies are also annoying. Combining these 2 things together Not so much of a quick dungeon, but we're going to try and do it as fast as possible. So, you know what? Pingu had some boxing gloves. You know, we're going to pick some up ourselves. We're going to pick up a pair of boxing gloves in that chest. These boxing gloves do about 40 damage, but these enemies are the most annoying. Every single enemy is basically out here to get you, and because they lunge at you constantly, they can chain attacks, which is the most frustrating thing, especially when they deal so much damage to you. Right, I'm going to grab this health potion here and try and deal with this guy really quickly. So I'm going to use everything I can to dodge his attacks without dying, but whilst not having to use my gun. Because again, the boxing gloves are the fastest method. Because it's basically about 80 damage per second. Anything that you can dual wield in this game, so basically boxing gloves, the dual knives, anything like that is basically going to be the most devastating weapon to use. Right. I'm like trying not to focus to the Nintendo stand because they're playing one of the songs from Super Mario Galaxy 1. It was like one of the Waterworld songs. I literally heard it out of the corner of my ear and I'm like, right, I can't be listening to this right now even if it is a good soundtrack. Right. So there's a health potion there, so we're gonna have to probably get... Nope. Right. So there's 3 of these big guys, and again, we have to deal with 43 of the enemies. This should be the last big one, and then we can just deal with the small ones. Right. But honestly, the character design of these enemies are really not friendly. Loads of like maggots and cockroaches. But then again, it is the Lost Museum, so I guess it would be like infested with all of these creatures. I don't know about bombs, books carrying bombs though. I'm not too sure about that. Nope. Okay. Right. I got a little bit glitched out then. Sugar. Right. This top section is really difficult. You've got so many enemies firing at you, and you basically... There's one objective, and it's right here, and it's to read the Book of Dreams now. We've got to read the Book of Dreams, not the Book of Memories. It takes a really long time to read the Book of Dreams, so we have to deal with every single enemy up here. But because there's just so much going on, you have to really pay attention to your health. If you die, it's massive time loss because you go all the way back to the bottom. Because as far as I know, there isn't any checkpoints, and we just used the water to skip all the way up the intended way, which was basically meant to go all the way around. So hopefully... Oh, okay. Right, what you can also do is you can hit random objects that might actually give you a health potion if you're low. The chances of getting a health potion increase when your health is lower than full. And obviously when your health is full, you don't really get many health potions because you don't need it. So I guess that's kind of RNG, but it's like RNG you can predict. So not so much of the typical RNG. So I want to be dealing with this big guy. Or these big guys, I should turn and say, so I'm going to try and do it. Okay. Stay there. Please don't hit me. Please be nice. Okay. Oh. That's actually a relief. So again, we're just using the trick of being able to be one level above them to the point where they just don't register our position on the actual map so they don't get aggro or do any attacks at us. Again, really helpful. Kind of hope it doesn't get patched for speedrun's sake, but at the same time, it's a little bit of information to the devs. But again, if you're playing this casually, why would you do that? You know, play it normally. Right, so this is column 17. Hopefully I can do this. This is another boss we can actually cheese. And he's actually maybe coming towards me? Maybe? No, okay. So that's not good. I think he's stuck. Could you undo my drink for me, please? This is a good base.
Really see what to do.
It's got knowledge though. It's got knowledge for centuries. And I'm shooting through the bookshelf as well, which is fine.
Don't
Basically.
What's actually holding him in there? Is it just actually the high elevation again, or is it
It's basically him. Sometimes he can notice I'm there, sometimes he can't. It's really weird on how that works. Do we have another donation?
We do have another donation coming in.
Come in really quick.
Hopefully got pronounced right. We have a donation from French Coast 13 for £5. And finally donate for such a great charity. Good luck to everyone over the next few days. Also read, what's with that menu in earlier?
Don't point out the menu.
I don't know.
Don't point out the menu. Thank you so much, Fred. That means a lot. Thank you. Honestly, anyone that has donated to the marathon so far, thank you so much. Again, we are raising money for special effects, so if you want to help out a fantastic charity, yeah, send in those donations. We got a marathon all week long, or all weekend long here at UKSMi65, so plenty of runs and plenty of content. I'm very honoured to be starting off the marathon. So 7th dungeon now is my favourite. Come back. I don't know how to describe them except from suicidal kind of yellow weird things. You get near them, they explode. Did I say something? I might have said something wrong. My bad. Don't explode because I said something wrong. But no, I really don't know what the enemies are in this stage. I guess they're all kind of like Japanese themed. I'm actually going to hit this checkpoint because these small little enemies here have a tendency to deal so much damage. As you can see, I just got shot then and basically half of my health is dead. They're really annoying to deal with. Nope. Okay, thank God. Right, we're going to death warp there because I'm not going to go back through that. So this is what I mean by there's a lot of death warping in World 7. We can use the checkpoints to our advantage just to death warp and get back to faster places. Gonna do that. I'm just going to deal with these enemies really quickly. The reason being is because I want to get this big guy over to me here. And then just go over back this way. We just want to get him away from the totems as much as possible so we have time to clean them without having to deal with them. They do have quite a bit of health. They're really, really chunky on health, actually. So we want to just take them away. So I lead the enemies over here. I deal with them. I've got that checkpoint, so if I unfortunately die, which hopefully I won't. There we go. There's also one of them. Please. Don't hit me. Nice. Okay, there we go. That was a really clean first area for Dungeon 7. So again, Dungeon 7 is one of my favorites because it is Oriental themed. I love Oriental themed levels. That I just have such a, I don't know, make me a whole game that's basically Oriental themed. It doesn't really matter if like the combat controls are bad or anything. I'll play it for the aesthetics if they're good. I honestly will. So here, a little bit of pride in here. We're going to restore some rainbow cauldron golds pot things. I suppose they're like the gold pot at the end of the rainbow, but rainbow edition, so actual rainbow color edition. But also, you know, just dandelions that really want to kill me. Why can't this game just be friendly? I've not done anything wrong. I haven't angered these enemies. I just came into the world and was like, hey, can I just defeat your boss? And they're like, nah. That is true. Maybe there's some sort of evil lure. Right. So, actually, yeah. That was me not even thinking then. So I got that checkpoint there because we're actually going to do another death warp by Dandelion. If we can just hit enemies off the edge of maps, it saves a lot of time because, again, we don't have to get the extra hits in order to deal with them. So we're just going to deal with this pot here. And then we're just going to death warp, basically. So basically, where? Is that every... Yeah. No, actually, the first 3 areas of the game require death warping, pretty much. That's not very good. Okay, right. Okay, cool. We got a health potion. A little bit worried, a little bit nervous then. Right. So we got one more, which is just over the river here. And again, have to deal with the enemies. Okay. Well, it's fine. The checkpoint's back here, so it's not too much of a time lost. If it was all the way back at the start, that might have been a little bit of an issue. But again, reason why we have the checkpoints. Right, I'm actually gonna have to defeat this shooting enemy I actually don't know what to be honest, like, I don't know if it's just me, but like the shooting enemy kind of looks like a grandma of something. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just my weird interpretation of a character design, but it just kind of looks like an evil grandma with guns. So, gangster granny maybe? I don't know. Look, it's got glasses on. I don't know what that thing is. Okay, that's gangster granny. Those are the big enemies that are like, we really want to avoid, which we actually don't deal with any of them, so. We're going to help the villagers here, and we're actually going to catch their nightmares. I should probably go around catching other people's nightmares as well. Wink, wink, wonk, wonk, but it's fine. So there's a gun that we're actually going to get from this chest here, without getting hit by those guys. So this gun, we basically don't use this until the final boss. We pick this up basically just for the final boss. Because the weapon that we're going to be using is in the next area, which is brass knuckles, which are very overpowered. They're one of my favorite weapons. Right, so we're going to activate that checkpoint there because we're going to be death warping there 3 times. So the first one is just here, where we just have to catch the nightmare, and then we're just going to... It seems like a short distance, and honestly, you could probably just run back there, but I say it's probably like literally a second faster to just death warp. Another thing I should mention is that you may have seen me rolling quite a lot in this game. Rolling by pressing B constantly is probably the fastest movement mechanic we have. There's no sprint button, there's nothing like that. It's just the roll kind of acts as the sprint thing. So as you can see, it's like I just launch myself forward really quick, put that in rapid succession, and it's basically a sprint button. It is kind of a little bit dodgy to control though, because you don't, once you're in the roll, you can't like maneuver out of it, so you can't like roll around. So, right, so we're gonna unlock the gate, and then we're gonna die, and then we're gonna respawn. And that's basically the Catch the Nightmares area. So it's a really fun level to play through, actually, mechanically, because of all the death warping in it. It's probably one of my favorites in this dungeon itself. So we're just gonna jump on these mushrooms really quick. Oh, okay. Again, if you're hugging the wall, you actually won't get the height in order to get up them, which is unfortunate. But as you can see now, we have some really cool looking brass knuckles, which we're basically going to be using as our weapon for the rest of the thing, because again, it deals 55 damage. Anything with high DPS, we're going to want to use it. So, this next 2 areas is just defeat the enemies, and hopefully not die at the same time. But obviously we've got these like really annoying... As you can see there, it was basically like 3 hits and I'm dead. I don't know if it's a broken mechanic or they're actually intended. Again, 2 hits and I'm dead. It's really difficult with them, to be honest. They're really, really tough. Sometimes you actually get like around them really easily, and you won't have that many issues. Sometimes you just get bombarded with that attack, and it's just like, well, okay, that's fine. I'll take the time loss for it. Right. And there we go. Cool. So, a little bit of a feature within this game is that we can actually customize our character. I'm just using one of the default characters, but I have unlocked all of the skins for the game. You can find skins scattered through every single dungeon in multiple chests. I don't think you get any for completing stages. I think you basically have to find all of them. But there's like loads of loads of references. We've got Psychonaut skins. We've got Bullet King from Enter the Gungeon. We've got loads of skins in this game, and one of my personal favorites is the sushi skins and also the Lucky Cherry skin as well. The reason why I'm not using them in the run though is because at the start of the dungeon you have to cycle through to what skin you want, and that's again time loss, so unfortunately we're not going to do that. So I'm going to cheat a little bit of a mechanic here. So up the ladder, as you can see on the screen, there's actually a button which we hit that lowers the drawbridge to get these enemies out. But I was like, wait, hold up a sec. If I can destroy the barrier, why can't I just destroy all the enemies inside just by like off-screen hitting them? And I know that I've gotten all the enemies at the on the base level when I've hit 31, because the rest of the extra 4 enemies are up there. There's 3 here, and then there's 1 at the door. Okay, and that's basically the treehouse section complete. So 2 floors of treehouse, which is really cool. So, final little bit, easiest thing to do, repair the dream beam. So I hope you guys are ready for some big dreams. Of maybe not the next boss, because it's kind of a terrifying thing if you're dreaming about that. That's like night terror level. But...
Dream Beam Machine.
yes.
Sounds very familiar.
Does. Right. So this is, we're going into the boss here. We're going into World 7, Dungeon 7. This is the crab. Right. Please. This isn't... How you doing? You guys enjoying the run? Yeah, we're all having a fun time. Doing good. Okay, cool. That's another. Well, hey, this is probably the easiest one to do because as soon as you spawn, there are crates that you just hop on. Done. It's basically that simple. I wish every boss was like this. What are we doing?
1, 2, 3, show.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
I win.
Of course I do that.
I win the speedrun and I win the rock paper scissors. Okay, right. This is exciting. Right, we're coming up to the final dungeon now. So time will be at the end of the final boss. It will be very, very relevant when time is, because I'll just let the boss animation basically go through. Seems as I don't need to do anything else. This is the longest dungeon by far. Probably one of the most, well, not the most, I wouldn't say it's as irritating as Dungeon 6, but it is up there. But the first two areas, my bad, are actually not that bad. So, again, we just have to get the key. And you might be like, well, where's the key? It's surely not in this chest surrounded by lava. There's no way. Hey, look, I found the key. That was easy. Oh, and, you know, just swim in lava because you can do that in a video game. You know? I'm not gonna, like, insta-die or anything. It's cool. Don't worry.
Might need a new pair of shoes after that.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. I might have to go shopping in Birmingham, pick up a new pair. Right, so we got some daggers back, but the unfortunate thing about these daggers is that they're not the same as Dungeon 5 daggers. These daggers only do 25 damage, sorry. If they did fit, I don't know if it's a dungeon-specific thing, like if they've actually made it so these daggers are 25 because a 55 would be too overpowered. But then it would be like, well, wouldn't a 55 in Dungeon 5 be really overpowered? Seems as though I was basically killing everything in like 3 shots. I'm not 100% too sure how that actually is working, but yeah, it's unfortunate that they're not a 55 damage. It would have been really nice, but oh yeah, that slam attack also does 50, so don't hit me. I'm taking this really carefully. It doesn't matter because I'm going to respawn right there, so. Oh, hello, gunman. I forgot to turn my notifications off. That's professional. Friends, stop coming online. I actually don't have that many friends on Xbox Live, so it's alright. There shouldn't be too many people come online. It seems as if we have, this run is like an hour-ish long, and we're almost at the end of it. One friend coming online, that's not bad. Right. Oh no! I really should. Brain, don't do this to me now. I have been watching too much YouTube recently. Too much YouTube. Right. Deal with that. There's 2 big enemies up here, as you can see there. We also get the introduction of mimic chests. Yes! I love a game when it introduced mimic chests. Totally doesn't fool me. It did fool me the first time. I honestly thought there was like a weapon in there. I was like, oh hey, I'm gonna get a new weapon. No, I just got basically eaten alive. If you'll know what the mimic chests are once you play through the game once, so you'll know what not to hit, what to hit, kind of type thing. Right, there's not a lot we can do here in regards to cheesing the boss. Like, there honestly really isn't. Or like mini boss, I should turn around and say. We just gotta kind of deal with these guys. The thing is like I can't even like lower my level in order to do it. Even though that would kind of be like the same principle, like they de-aggro, it wouldn't work because my bullets wouldn't be able to hit to like reach basically the top floor. Planned RNG manipulation. The next room will be randomized. No, wait, no, that's not how that works.
Before you go in there and it's just game done.
Oh no, if the game crashes on me now, I'll be so sad.
No, I mean, arcade game. I didn't mean Crash. I'm not that.
Oh, okay. Right. So in this one, you know, these enemies don't deserve to eat, so we're just going to destroy the banquet. So again, this is just basically another one. I like this type of mission because you just basically go through it and are like, yeah, just destroy everything. The chairs, the table, the food, everything counts as an object towards the objective. So as you can see, it's increasing quite quickly. And this is actually really good so far. Come on. You got this. You got this, little Max. There we go. Quest complete. Nice. So that was a really clean room. I've died in there a few times because obviously we're not going to deal with any of the enemies there. So, right. This is another damage one. We basically want to damage the pods. And this is just to give you a bit of a hint to what the final boss is going to have in store. Spoilers. I can't really be saying spoilers. If you're watching a speedrun, you're going to have spoilers anyway. So you should be like basically full aware of it at this point. Self-explanatory. Speedrun, spoilers instantly. I don't need to say this. Okay, quest complete. Done. Again. So fast. Diamond. I'm going to pick that up. No, that's out of my way. I have to like go up the walls and ladders and stuff. So, again, we're going to cheat. We'll not cheat. Just manipulate the game a little bit. Rock, paper, scissors again, really quick. Rock, paper, scissors. 2, 3. I won again! 2 out of 2. What do I win as a prize? I'll take it! A prize is a prize. It's fine. Right.
Could have been worse, could have been a kick.
Kicking me off the stage. Right, so we just got the silver key, which basically just unlocks that door in order for us to get another key. You know? And there's nothing even stopping us to get this key. There's like no enemies, there's nothing. It's just go along the side of the wall and then I suppose it's not, I wouldn't say it's actually faster to death warp there because you get sent all the way back there and you can just hit Y to go into the thing. So this is also a little bit of another annoying section because of these spiders. They're not that great. Hopefully I can get some good run with this. Basically, there are like 4 elders we have to save. That was totally planned.
Nobody saw it.
That was nobody saw it. Wow, back at the run. Woohoo! Totally planned. We have to deal with these guys kind of quickly, but there we go. So you can move around the objective and still be able to complete it, which is the nice thing. That's kind of what I have to do with the enemies. I'm not falling off again. Also, the big enemies don't register you, so they actually go round the thing because it's actually the game entity is kind of rendered as like a full-blown wall. So it's like, oh well, we can't hit you through this, so we have to go around it. So in regards to the big enemies, they're not a huge worry. It's the small ones we have to worry about. Right, there we go. Nice. Monka S. Oh, okay. I got caught on that bridge. There was no escaping my fate there. But it's fine, though. Right. Final 3 areas. Damn. This run seems to have gone by really, really quickly. I don't know about you. It seems to have gone by super quick. But we're going to pick up our last weapon here. And it's a Rainbow Blaster. My favorite gun in the game. Period. Period. It does 55 damage. And it shoots literal rainbows. Like, come on. If Skittles taste the rainbow. If I could like spawn into every level with the Rainbow Blaster, like if that was like a kind of a cool mechanic of the game, like once you completed all the dungeons, you could basically take any weapon into any of the dungeons to start with. I would basically be choosing the Rainbow Blaster. Okay, I'd basically be choosing the Rainbow Blaster and the Knuckle Dusters. There we go. That was a bit of a struggle there. Right, have to deal with this guy without dying. Stop hitting me! Come on, not now! Not at the final stretch of the game! Right. And then he's like instantly dead. The good thing about this is if you're moving forward, the projectiles kind of like produce a rapid fire effect because of how slow they're actually moving. so you can kind of chain them to be really fast if you're moving forward. So the gun kind of has a way to get faster DPS out of it than basically just shooting it normally, which is kind of cool. We can kind of do some interesting effects. Oh, okay, health potion. I was like, I don't know why I wasn't getting like any of the health potions. I'm just gonna like, I'm just gonna go in. You know what? We're gonna in, out, in, out. We're gonna shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey and we turn around. That's what it's all about. Right, there's 2 enemies. That's a heart. Okay, no, that's nothing. Oh, did the enemy just fall in lava? Game. 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 No. Game. No. Game. Game. No.
New hiding place in a bit of lava.
This is like right before the boss fight. Okay, hold up. Did I see that correctly? Did the enemy go into the lava?
I actually am not too sure.
Or was I just... Wait, I hear it. I hear it somewhere. Hello? Time loss? Darkness, my old friend? Where is it? It's somewhere here. I can hear it. It's there! It's okay. It's in the corner.
Oh. So he did a death warp to go into the corner and
Yep.
hide from you.
This is going so well!
He's using your own stress against you.
Oh no! Please die. Please die. Oh, thank you. Okay, that deserves a round of applause. That scared me. I was like, wait, hold up, what? That's like the second time that's happened to me. That is so unfortunate. That's fine though. Right. Here is the final boss. As soon as we defeat the knight. This is the only boss that's kind of like normal throughout the whole entire run. As soon as we defeat the knight, it's time. And hopefully we've gotten a good time. Right, so the mechanics of this boss is that we have to defeat the gauntlets, or like damage the gauntlets, in order to turn them blue. The lava is basically his shield source, so as you can see, each one I take down, it's taking his shield. If I try and do any damage, I will kind of do damage to his shield, but it won't be enough to do it quick enough. So we have to take down the gauntlets first. And then when the gauntlets are down, we can die. That's what we're going to do. When the gauntlets are down, we can just basically go into his inner circle to the point where he won't hit us, but to the point where the enemies won't actually register. So you just want to do this, really. We want to... It's basically like Captain Barbecus all over again, where we just circle the boss over and over again. But this time the enemies don't really get in the way. Alright, deal with that. Oh, damn it, okay. Oh, okay, we got that, right. I'm reloading. Alright, can I just... Okay, that's fine. I can do the last 2 gauntlets up here. No! There we go. Right, shield down again. So the shield isn't a time thing, it's basically the 3 health phase damage thing. So this is his down moment of what it would be for like normal bosses. Except from we just can't do damage in between it, so. But there's it only means there's basically 3 phases to it, so it's fine. Hold up. Okay, there we go. I'm like in super deep concept. Nope. Okay. Just whack me with the sword, dude. He's got some hardcore rage. I think the lore behind it is basically the knight imprisoned all of the elders or something. And I'm like the only person that can stop it. They don't seem very imprisoned. Right. Should be the last phase. So as soon as he turns to dust, that's time. So I'll probably say it in. Come on, almost there. You couldn't have just like not. You had to be mean. And time. There we go. That's Riverbond any percent all dungeons. Oh my gosh. I'm like so lightheaded. Wow. I don't know if you saw that then, but I just like elevated on top of like the whole entire thing. That was amazing. There we go. 30. The end IGT for that is 13 minutes. So that's not bad. But yeah, in the little menu you get like a little bit of thing. Yeah. What was the time? Hour 8:56. That's world record, and that's also not a bad time. Yeah, that's world record and not a bad time. That's very good. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for UKSM for having me, and yeah, let's continue on with this amazing marathon. So.